Now, mixed bag of opinion polls about nuclear power. Do my best. Often mispronounced. Thank you for all of the emails. Well, of course, Peter Dutton has put it front and centre. It is going to be a major fight between now and the next election. And in fact, the first question time since it was all formally announced. And remember, 6 of the 7 sites are going to be inside coalition electorates. This was the blow-up and the scare campaigns in question time.
The economics of nuclear do not stack up.
The Leader of the Opposition's view on nuclear is risky extremism at its worst, and that's why it's falling down all around him, Mr Speaker.
The question for the Leader of the Opposition is, how does a big bill lead to cheaper energy? He hasn't released that, Mr Speaker. It's got the most expensive form of energy available. They think they know better than the CSIRO, but they won't release their costs.
The critical issue here is that what they are proposing is economic insanity.
Absolutely. But interestingly, Peter Dutton had a question that gets right to the heart of what we've been talking about. The CSIRO, you know, the economic modellers of the CSIRO, but still, they're a trusted institution because they invented Wi-Fi, all the rest of it, right? I love the CSIRO, but I don't turn to them for costings on anything. They're a scientific organisation. Now remember, 2017, they said the full rollout of renewables, $1 trillion. The current cost of the complete removal of what worked to the system that this government wants, $500 billion, $500 billion. How much is the transformation that Peter Dutton's talking about? Well, it's less than $500 billion. So let's put some numbers on the table. Here was the government being asked a rather direct question by the alternative Prime Minister today.
Prime Minister, what is the total cost of the government's energy plan and what will the capacity investment scheme cost taxpayers?
But guess what the answer was? No responsibility, no responsibility.
Well, you've got to hand it to the Leader of the Opposition. At a time when the rest of us are working to get power bills down, he's picked the one option guaranteed to push power prices up.
Order.
Push power prices up.
Or answer the question. Your call, sir. Meantime, that polling, which I said was mixed. First, let's go to the Daily Telegraph. It was repeated, of course, in the Courier Mail, the Herald Sun, the Tiser, the Mercury, and plenty of other places. 6 in 10 Australians say that they support nuclear energy as part of the nation's energy mix, a boost to the opposition leader and his want to build 7 power plants, 6 of them in his own electorates, of course, that's me adding the detail, by 2050 in every location except Melbourne. What a surprise. There was a majority support for the Australian nuclear energy industry, but this backing fell away somewhat once you started to get specific and said, well, what if it was going to be in your region? Meantime, Financial Review, they showed this one here. Outright support for nuclear is at 40%. Now, that is lower than the number that was in the Resolve poll yesterday. Now, why do people oppose it? They oppose it because it is economically unfeasible. That's the elbow argument. That's 18%. 4% of people, or actually less than 4% of people, are worried about the waste. Other people say they should focus on renewables, that's 4%, and they oppose because of one or more of the above, 29%. 6% unsure. So let's always use the rule about undecideds, that half of them go yes, half of them go no. That's still not enough to get to 50, hence why the polling would be good for those that are arguing against it right now. Remember, we try to show you the facts here. We don't just tell you the opinion. We have it, but we try to show you the data. I'm not just going to spoon-feed you all of the stuff that sells one side of the story. That's a poll that shows that the hill is still there to climb, but there's not as many undecideds as there are in other polls. Meantime, what reads an awful lot like some political advice to the Labor Party comes today via old Auntie PK in the ABC's website, of course, Patricia Cavellis, breakfast host there on Radio National. Forget the three-eyed blinky bill. We should focus the nuclear debate on what real voters, particularly women, are telling us. Who should be focusing the debate? We should focus the debate. What side is she speaking on the behalf of? Oh, of course, commentary. Oh, but I don't write the headline. OK. Men don't mind nuclear. When asked about their future, 51% say yes, but women are worried. Only 19% say they support it, 40% say are expressing an opposition. This is an article that is a repeat of an article, same website, but a different person, this time Annabelle Crabb, saying Peter Dutton is a true believer on nuclear as the answer to Australia's energy problems, but he'll need to convince the voting public. Inside that voting public is a whole bunch of data that she serves up, among others, that of course say it's all about gender, and there's a great difference when it comes to gender. You know, Peter Dutton, ooga booga, bad, all the rest of it. Australia's version of Trump.